Welcome to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Hasledge. The United States Navy made a return to Cleveland weeks after Navy Week to make a special announcement. The USS Cod Submarine Memorial was the perfect setting for the announcement, which was delivered by Navy Undersecretary and former Cleveland resident, the Honorable Thomas Maudley.
Today I have the honor of announcing, on behalf of Secretary Spencer, that one of our newest warships will become the fourth U.S. Navy ship to be named the United States ship Cleveland. And you can clap for that.
After the announcement of the new USS Cleveland, Mayor Frank Jackson took to the podium to offer his thanks and appreciation on behalf of the city.
This will be the fourth, and we have the bales of two of those ships in the rotunda of City Hall, and we display them proudly. And we are honored that the Navy and that those responsible for choosing Cleveland have done what they've done. And we, as also was mentioned, Cleveland serves. We serve in many ways, and we serve throughout every branch, and the Navy is one of those. And we really appreciate them recognizing Cleveland for what we do and as servicing people in this nation. So thank you very much.
So, what kind of ship will be named after our great city? Undersecretary Maudley explains.
It's called a littoral combat ship. It's one of our new classes of ships, and what it can do is it can patrol much more closely to coastal areas, which are critical to sort of maintaining freedom of navigation operations and such things, and helping some of our partners and allies out in the Pacific, specifically where there's a lot of island nations that require help in patrolling their waters.
The ship is currently being built in Wisconsin and should take about 2.5 years until completion. Well, the Cleveland chapter of the national organization 100 Black Men recently held their scholarship gala at the Marriott Cleveland.
This is actually our 17th annual gala, so we're proud to be celebrating that tonight. You know, more than anything, tonight's gala is an opportunity for us to come together, to have fun, to enjoy each other, to network, and to showcase what we've been doing in the community for the last couple of years.
The organization has grown to nearly 100 chapters with more than 10,000 members internationally that strive to make a difference.
Overall, look to improve both the educational and economic opportunities for African Americans. And largely, we primarily focus on mentoring. And so mentoring, we generally, our flagship programs center around mentoring, where we again look to focus on helping the children to look to develop overall better behavior. We look to help our children to perform better in an academic and school setting as well. So again, when we look at the mission of 100 Black Men, the mission, simply put, is to improve the overall community, both educationally and economically, from that perspective.
I think mentoring is probably one of the most important things that we can do for our kids, to get them to actually, see people that care about them, to get them to actually interact with people that want them to succeed. And once you do that and show a kid that you care, then the sky's the limit.
The 100 Black Men's organization was able to give scholarships away to 2 deserving high school scholars from the Ginn Academy. They also honored some of Cleveland's outstanding leaders, one of which was Chief Calvin Williams.
I was, lucky enough to be recognized by 100 Black Men. And, the award for me is really an award for the entire Division of Police and for our city, and all the things that we do to make people safe here, and all the things that we do to try to make life for citizens in our city a lot better.
The goal is to continue to get the support that we've been getting. We got great support this year from Key Bank, great support from First Federal of Lakewood. We got some great, fantastic sponsors that continue to back us in our fight. I mean, everything that we do is volunteer basis. There's no money associated with this also. The strength of the gala is to get the committee to see what we do, and so they can say, oh, I like what those guys are doing, and I'm willing to support it, and I'm willing to help.
The Cleveland Division of Fire honored some of their own in a celebration at Cleveland City Council chambers. Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson welcomed the crowd and thanked the honorees for their bravery.
And as these scenarios are being read for what you're being recognized for, it really points out what you do on a daily basis that that sometimes I imagine you just take for granted because you're just doing your job. But we fully recognize what you've done, and we want to recognize you for doing that. So again, welcome everybody and congratulations to you.
Before the awards were handed out, Fire Chief Angelo Cavillo spoke of the job of Cleveland firefighter.
Every day our firefighters work on the front line, responding to all hazards and emergencies, from medical emergencies to motor vehicle accidents, technical rescues, and of course, fires. Cleveland firefighters are ready to respond right now and every hour of every day of the year.
Among the many award recipients, 2 firefighters, John McGowan and Gregory Juratic, won the prestigious Medal of Valor for the rescue of 2 juveniles who fell into the turbulent waters at Mill Creek Falls.
With no flotation vests available, firefighters McGowan and Juratic jumped into the frigid water and began to search for the missing child. After a few minutes, the chief of the 2nd Battalion, observing from a viewing deck across the river, was about to order the firefighters out of the water when firefighter Juratic located the victim in approximately 6 feet of water. Firefighters Juratic and McGowan were able to pull the victim up and bring him to the water's edge, where he was pulled from the water by other members of Engine 13. For bravely risking their lives in this swift water rescue, firefighters John McGowan and Greg Juratic are awarded the Medal of Valor.
The Cleveland Police Department held their 12th annual gun buyback with the goal of getting weapons off the streets in exchange for gift cards to Target, Dave's Supermarket, or Shell gas station. Sergeant Jennifer Chach tells us why these buybacks are so prevalent.
Gun buybacks are very popular. They are held in most major cities across the U.S. They're popular because people tend to have weapons that they don't want in their house. A lot of times people get them because they inherit them. Maybe that's because they had a loved one pass away, they were left a gun. And sometimes people are just uncomfortable having the guns in their house. That's when we encourage people really to turn them in, because when people have weapons and they don't really want them, they tend to not be stored correctly. When they're not stored correctly, then we encounter things like accidents with children, and they're also much more likely to be taken in a home, a home break-in. And then they end up on the street and they end up with illegal activity. So to do our best to take those types of weapons off the street, we do offer the gun buyback every year.
I had a gun from my father and didn't know what to do with it, so best thing to do is get rid of it.
And I saw that this is an effort to clean up the streets and the things that are going on. So I'm very happy to be here and to help the community.
185 guns were collected this year, exceeding 2017's buyback by 50 guns. Sergeant Chach tells us what happens to the weapons once they've been turned in.
After the guns are taken, they'll go down to the property room. They'll all get logged into our system, and then they're eventually all burned at ArcelorMittal. So ArcelorMittal is not only our partner in that they are the biggest contributor to the gun buyback, so we definitely want to thank them for that, because without them this certainly wouldn't be possible. But they also take the responsibility to take all the guns and they burn them at the steel refinery downtown. The 10th annual Cleveland LGBTQ Heritage Day celebration was held at the City Hall Rotunda on October 11th, which is National Coming Out Day. The City of Cleveland and the LGBT Community Center of Greater Cleveland recognize those that have made a difference and have made significant contributions to the LGBTQ community in areas such as activism, health and wellness, arts and culture, and public service. Mayor Frank Jackson and other community leaders were on hand to give their thanks to the honorees for their commitment to helping and improving our city.
And often say the people who have to always be on their game all the time in order to be recognized that your work is never done, and that is always about the next thing. It's always about pushing and agitating and ensuring that you receive the rights that you deserve. And that is what I say to you. And you've been doing it, but you've been doing it in a way that has caused government and the private sector in Cleveland to respond to you which means you've done it in a very respectable way, professional way, and you've gotten results.
While we do a lot of boring things, we also have an opportunity to promote justice, to move forward. And, you know, as I look back on my career, whether it's, 20, 30 years from now, I will really, those are the things I'll remember, is what did we do, what did your government do, what did we do as a community to further justice, to further equality. And I'm happy to have served with everybody on the stage up here and everybody that's in the room here tonight to further these goals. And we're not, as the mayor said, we're not done, we're just getting started. Cleveland City Hall is open and welcoming, and every member of our community is valued.
So we love each and every one of you. We are proud. The city of Cleveland is sending messages every single day that we stand with the LGBTQ plus community. We will be here for what we've already done. We are going to champion what has to come, and we are here, and we've got your back. We are a part of you. We are a part of the community, and your city stands with you.
Councilman Zone expressed his excitement that the new LGBT Community Center will be opening soon in his ward.
In Ward 15, we are incredibly diverse. I'm really looking forward when we can cut the ribbon, Phyllis, on the new LGBT center on Detroit Avenue. And one of the Ward 15 is in a real resurgence, but probably one of the most proudest projects I've ever had the opportunity to work on was A Place for Us.
Commander Deidre Jones, who is LGBTQ liaison for the city of Cleveland, shared what happened once she came out.
Once I did come out almost 30 years ago, I finally found my voice. It is my job and it's my role as commander and as the liaison to bridge that gap and to rebuild trust between the LGBT community and the police department, as well as try to recruit and retain as many qualified LGBT members of the Department of Public Safety as possible.
Commander Jones also shared that the Cleveland Police have hired 2 transgender candidates for the Division of Police. For more information on LGBTQ Community Center of Greater Cleveland, call 216-651-5428 or visit lgbtcleveland.org. The Buckeye neighborhood on Cleveland's east side has a brand new grocery store. To commemorate the new business, a grand opening was held on site. Mayor Frank Jackson was joined by Council President Kevin Kelly, Ward 4 Councilman Ken Johnson, and Ward 6 Councilman Blaine Griffin to tour the new store and speak to the residents.
So this store, Simon's Supermarket, is an example of how we have worked with the private sector. A private owner who has vast experience in grocery, who has an old school concept of the customer is right and serving the community, and how we have come together with them to supply whatever they needed in order to serve you, the people of this community.
This is no corner shop. This is a full-service, real-deal grocery store, and I'm very pleased for the people in the neighborhood that you've got this great asset. This goes to everything we talk about: walkable communities, healthy communities, eliminating food deserts, and the mayor's and the council's objectives to invest in neighborhoods, stabilize neighborhoods. As the mayor said, we can't have a strong, thriving city without strong, thriving neighborhoods, and this is a giant step towards that.
No neighborhood can be a neighborhood unless you have a place to shop. Some place that's not going to rip you off, some place that cares about this community.
Councilman Griffin, whose ward the new store is located, says it is important the community has a source to get food for their families.
Well, when Giant Eagle closed, one of the most significant needs that the community wanted was a supermarket. So we immediately got together to begin to put together a strategy to get a supermarket in the Buckeye neighborhood. We love this neighborhood, and we know that this is more than just a supermarket. This is a gathering place. This is where everybody comes to meet and greet each other, people of all different backgrounds. So a neighborhood is not a neighborhood without a grocery store. So today is a great day for the Buckeye neighborhood, and we want everybody to come here and be a part of this movement to bring Buckeye back alive.
A ceremony was held to celebrate the launch of the new Morgana Bluffs Nature Preserve and Learning Center on Broadway Avenue in the Slavic Village neighborhood. The 4 acres of land will be beneficial in many ways, says Ward 12 Councilman Anthony Brancatelli.
This really fits into our sustainability agenda. This year is the year of the neighborhoods, and so what a great opportunity to have a sustainable project like this, working with the sewer district, working with the city, and showing how a neighborhood can be sustainable. We have our first complete and green street on Fleet Avenue. We have a golf course built on a landfill. We have a trail going through, and now we have the STEM Learning Center, Morgana Bluffs. So we're really excited that this fits in with Cleveland's agenda.
The space will be next door to the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland. President and CEO of the organization, Rod Soder, is excited for the new development and how it will help over 1,700 children that attend.
I think it's wonderful that we as an organization, could let people really see something, dream it, and help it come to fruition. And so to us, it was a space that was being used for a dump, being used for refuse, and seeing a chance to clean it up and make it a space where kids can enjoy themselves, be safe, learn is really important to us. It's a really cool space, not only the topography, but also the different aspects of it. So there's a cool wetland, that's gonna be fun to be able to manage and see how things grow and how they sprout. There's also then, a dry area and trails, and so there's an opportunity to have, fitness and health. There's an opportunity to have the idea of being outside and fresh air, all those things that go into really, if you read about young people and read about people's anxiety, spending more time outside in peaceful places does a world of good for that anxiety and that anger. And I think we see it as a resource to be able to do more of that.
So the Learning Center itself, both having the little theater complex there where you have the amphitheater, and also as a learning center for these young kids to learn through all the STEM programs that we have through all our different schools, being able to bring them out here and get the environmental side hands-on. This will be not just books or not just in a classroom, but you're going to be able to go out and touch and feel and see what you should be understanding throughout all of our environmental sciences. So this is a really exciting time for these young kids and a great amenity for our neighborhood.
Construction will be starting shortly and is due for completion about fall of 19. Well, as it does every October, Cleveland Public Power opened its doors for its annual open house and solar sprint race. Shelley Shockley, marketing manager for CPP, says a little rain won't ruin the fun, but it will change how the solar sprint is raced.
Mother Nature didn't work with us today, so we're not going to be running on the sun, but there is an opportunity for them to still race their cars utilizing battery power. So we're going to be racing cars down East 13th Street, and we also have an open house with our bucket trucks, our line trucks, face painting, just a lot of activities for the children and for the community to understand what public power is all about.
Little scientists from across Cleveland Metropolitan School District came to race their specially made cars in the solar sprint race. Without sun power, however, they had to rely on more conventional means.
We're using a battery pack, so the battery makes it go faster than the sun would do, but it's basically the same energy. Yeah.
How fun is this?
It's actually very fun because you get to create stuff, you get to learn about science and technology, and a lot of education is fun. Yeah.
Teacher Tina Kovac of the Tremont Montessori School is bringing her students to participate in the race for the first time, and she says the event is great from an educational standpoint.
I think it's great that people at Cleveland Public Power work so hard to make this event a great community event. It's free. It's a great experience for the kids to work in teams, to learn how to work with each other under pressure and to keep their cool and think on their feet. I think it's a great collaborative event with the city.
After all the races finished and the victories were celebrated, it was time to check out CPP's open house. Free food, face painting, crafts, and of course, CPP's giant trucks were just some of the things people could see and do. Though it was a rainy day, people still came out to play. Senior citizens at Zelma George Recreation Center had a chance to check out some new wheels. Here's TV20 reporter Dan Monroe with the story.
Bicycling is something all of us take for granted, but for some, especially in our senior citizen population, it's no longer easy to take a bike for a ride down the road. That all changed thanks to a bicycle expo held for seniors at Zelma George. Deltrice Daniels of Bike Cleveland helped coordinate the event.
This is a senior cycling expo. It is geared to encourage and get some seniors on bikes to get them physically active and to let them know the benefits and the advantages of being physically active in their years.
As the expo began, Daniels worked with the seniors in a classroom setting, going over the parts of a bike, talking about safety, and discussing ways to take care of and fix their bikes.
So there's a way to wear your helmet, right? I'm guilty of always wearing my helmet crooked because as a lady I have different hairstyles. But the proper way to wear your helmet is on your head so that it's level, right? You want to, I can't see I have a hat on, but when you look up, you should be able to see the top of your helmet.
After class, the seniors came into the gymnasium where they could test out a variety of bikes, including three-wheelers, electric bikes, and bikes designed to go easy on the joints and back. Felicia Moore was excited to see the different types of bikes that are available for her to use.
I like the ones that you can short, the arm ones and the leg ones. The arms and the legs, because I need strength in all this. I had surgery on my shoulder, so that stiffs up. Everything is stiff around me. I got hurt on my job 10 years ago, and I'm very stiff. And I come up here to exercise and line dance, and I really enjoy riding these bikes.
Besides being fun, bike riding at any age has many benefits. Just ask Cora Ruffin.
Well, for one thing, it's a good form of exercise, and plus you can ride outdoors, which you can enjoy, like walking. And I just really enjoy I'm gonna try to start riding the bicycle again.
Any way you look at it, trying out new bikes brought big smiles to people's faces. At the Silver Spokes Bike Expo for TV20, I'm Dan Monroe.
Thanks, Dan. Well, the city of Cleveland has a rich history, and we want to test your knowledge. The trivia question for this week: what year was George L. Forbes elected Cleveland City Council president? Is it A, 1968, B, 1972, or C, 1974? We'll have the answer when we return.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
And move over. When you see lights, vests,
or reflectors,
please give us some room. Slow down and move over. When you need us,
we've got your back.
Do you have ours?
You got our back?
You got ours? You got our back? Please, slow down
and move over.
I wish I was in school. If only I had a math test today. I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I wish I was in school.
School ends, but free lunches for your kids don't have to. Find your local food bank at feedingamerica.org/summer meals for help.
Welcome back to TV20 News. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslidge. Our trivia question for this week: what year was George L. Forbes elected Cleveland City Council president? Is it A, 1968, B, 1972, or C, 1974? The answer is C. George Forbes served as City Council president from 1974 to 1989. The Western Reserve Historical Society Cleveland History Center hosted George Forbes Community Day as part of a weekend honoring the life, leadership, and legacy of Cleveland's former City Council president. The event featured performances from local artists, including the a cappella camp from Tri-C, and of George L. Forbes, The Heavy Lifting by Daniel Gray Contar from Caremu House. The event was the program A Conversation with Mr. George L. Forbes, Esquire, which was moderated by Mr. Forbes' longtime friend, Brent Larkin of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Mr. Forbes talks about his life from childhood to today and shares many personal experiences and insights into his life and career. You can watch the entire conversation with George L. Forbes only here on TV20. Check our schedule for times. Well, though it seems like it just started, Hispanic Heritage Month has come to a close, and we did it with a celebration in the City Hall Rotunda.
Yo sé de sus hembras trigueñas, sé del olor de sus rosas, beso a mi tierra riqueña, por siempre la llamaré.
That was interim Hispanic liaison Lisa Roman beautifully singing that song to a crowd who came to the Rotunda to close out Hispanic Heritage Month. Grady Stevenson, Executive Director of Cleveland's Community Relations Board, offered his closing remarks.
And I know if Mayor Jackson were here tonight, he would tell each and every one of you how thankful and how proud he is of the Hispanic community right here in the city of Cleveland. The work that you do and the people that you are. When I thought about this theme, our beauty and our culture, and as I go around the city and I meet a lot of our Hispanic brothers and sisters in the city of Cleveland, I can understand why this title was selected for this month.
After the ceremony, the music started and the people hit the floor and danced. The celebration continued into the night with singing, laughing, and dancing. All of them happy for a successful Hispanic Heritage Month. While bullying isn't a new concept, it is a growing epidemic. One local organization recently held an event to shine a spotlight on it. To bring awareness to the children in the city of Cleveland about the impact of bullying, BWE Future Kids held their second annual anti-bullying event at Zelma George Recreation Center. Their message for the event was simple.
Look, we need to take a stand on this issue. Bullying ain't cool. You know, if you can't stand up and actually talk about an issue or a problem civilizedly, then there's nothing to be talked about. Everybody pushes everybody's buttons. It's just the way you handle the situation. That's the important part.
One of the young adults and future musical artist, Lawrence Collins III, has a message for all the kids.
I was the type where I had anger management problems. Everybody looked at me as a bad kid, but once you find a passion, my passion was music. Music helped me get through a lot. So once you find a passion, something you believe in, you're going to make it through life. Just follow it. Do what you got to do.
For more information, visit their Facebook page at facebook.com/BWE Future Kids. That's kids with a Z. That's all for your TV20 news. We are Cleveland. I'm Leah Haslage. Up next, we'll have Christian Patterson with the Inside Sports Report.